Alright, so originally I did do the first 3 original clips or sections of this final video, and I'm thinking that this would be the good time to make the intro and the rant put in together, because it's really going to be important for me to say so, and I want to kind of tell you guys what has been happening around almost a month, or exactly a month as of recording this video. Originally, the date for this video was supposed to be on June 15th. As of this being released, it's a little bit in a late delay. However, I still got it out just in time within this month. Besides from that, aside from that, I'm going to say, is that, due to what has happened within this month, which is Pride Month as we know it, it really pissed off a lot of people, where, a lot of these freaking ICE agents, the immigration policy and all that stuff that I saw within a lot of videos for the past few days, talking about the current administration within the United States as we know it, is so fucking horrendous to me. Like, I'm not making this up. I did say it before, but I'll say it again. I fucking hate this dumbass orange man that we have right now as we speak. There's reasons, like I already said it within the previous clips, but I'll reiterate it here to let you guys know about this. The reason why I cut my hair is because of that. Due to the hot heat where I'm at, a fresh start for the reset continuity. A lot more than I would even say, but those just to name a few on why I had this cut. Now, as far as I can say, with about everything, due to what has happened on June 14th, there's a little small portion of people that went to this dumbass's military parade, which is funny to me. And the fact that a lot of the people in the United States were protesting on No King's Day. Los Angeles was one of them that started their own protest within June 15th about the ICE agents taking away our own citizens that were here, trying to be as a citizen. Even the ones who were born here legally as a U.S. citizen. I can't speak today. A U.S. citizen. Even with the fact about us being we the people that care about democracy. And it's ridiculous that Los Angeles had to go through this protest for peace against these fucking ICE agents. The National Guard that is on his dumbass's side. And a lot of the shit that I see is so bullshit from the administration. It's literally bullshit, and a lot of Democrats do not like that. Especially our own damn Democrats within California. California ain't playing around, guys. I'm not making this up. California is not playing around. And with that, it comes to show that there's reasons why, and I'm thankful that I learned the hard way value to respect the people that I know, that I care about, because it really shows that this is not okay. This is not supposed to happen in any way. Remember the P25, the Project 2025 that everybody was talking about within last year, and maybe up until now that's still talking about it? It's now coming to effect, and the way I see it is full-on fascism within the administration that I saw, and it's not okay. And it's so fucking bullshit. To me, it's like, I'm sorry the way I kind of like trying to rub my eyes because I was tired within the day of June 24th, and within the morning, or within the midnight to the morning of today, as we speak, as I'm recording this video. Again, it's such a pitiful moment to see our own democracy starting to fall, and we start to rise up against this dumbass that reminds us from the time where this king up in England is trying to rule over us when the 13 colonies were happening. Same thing with France too. Same thing with a lot of other countries. Fascism, dictatorship, communism, or even outright monarch. And those things I do not like. And even though, let me tell you this about Stone Bronson, even though I put in kings of some of the characters that I know within Stone Bronson that I'm still trying to work on, I have not worked on that for a while because of all of this. That doesn't mean that's going to be like this throughout the rest of the entire story. It's only going to happen within only 2 volumes, Volume 1 and Volume 2, that I'm going to mention right now as we speak, because those chapters are already done and the scripts for those are already done. It's just the other half of the story for Stone Bronson from Volume 3 to Volume 4 of their story is already finished. It's just the fact that the script has not been made. So keep this in mind. And good thing I only revealed the only chapter that you guys already saw, because it's the beginning of finally starting to show my work. But how does this apply to what has been really going on? And the reason why I added one of the characters that shows a fascism inside of the story, his name is already mentioned, which is Arthur Green. He's one of the characters that I have who cares about fascism and monarchy at the same time. Monarchy, I meant to say. It's because I portrayed him as a character that is reminded of from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I like the way I used him as a portrayal of a relation of a inspirational character named Dio Brando, or Diego Brando of the alternate universe, but mostly Dio Brando of the original universe of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And the way I see him, he's just a fucking fascist, and that's what I see within Dio. Even though he's a good fucking villain, it's like ridiculous that he cooked. Oh my god, it's so ridiculous that he cooked his goddamn dog, Jonathan's goddamn dog. When I saw that, it's like, what the fuck? Anyway, but again, how does this all apply to all of this? To me, it's so fucking horrendous. It's so fucking ridiculous that our country is falling into that, and we do not want to go there. Like literally, we do not want to go there. And now what to speak? What would I say to those that I talked about? To those who fall into this, and I'm gonna say this to you right now, as we speak. I don't care who it is. I don't care who believes in this shit. But you guys need to understand that this is not okay for you to understand about this shit. You need to understand that this is so fucking wrong to follow this orange man himself. I don't know why I quote unquote on that. To this orange man himself up in office doing this shit. And I feel a disgrace to some of you who believe that shit at first. Like soon, I bet you, once they see this video and start talking to me about that shit, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Go ahead and debate me. Go ahead and debate the current Charles after this video, and try to debate me on this shit. Same thing to those who are fucking conservatives and fucking dumbasses for no reason. Especially the friends that I lost because of the way I act, because of the way I look like, and everything else. And I'm going to refer to them over here right now that are in this story in my own perspective. Michael Arista, Lucian Key, Riley Dees, some of Philip Basic, Vexelrin, Brucey Flame 71, but he goes under another name now. Rock Clay, Bat, his friend towards Vexelrin, aka Rio, that I know of. And lastly, there is one more person. Oh no, that's it. I think that's it. But the point is, these fucking 8 people that I met, which they're going to be shown later in one of the slides that I'm in danger of, including everybody else, it shows that these people do not care, and these are fucking narcissistic people that believes in no democracy. If I'm going to tell you, once they start to realize this shit, what I just been saying about all this time, I'm not fucking wrong. Because at the end of the day, the most horrendous person I would never ever support, that I would never talk to ever again, is my ex, which is Riley Dees, and she could go fuck herself. And now, seeing all this, what she's seeing from her own side of you, and if she ends up debating me, go ahead and debate me, you bitch. Because I honestly don't fucking care on how you react to this video, no matter what. And it is really such a disgrace for the fact that you start smoking and all of that other shit that you've been believing about for all these years, especially the video that I made on you originally, that is now debunked and out of the way. That has been gone. That video is never going to come back, and I will never retrieve it ever again because it's already deleted. I can't retrieve it back. And another thing is, what I need to tell you is that after this video, after everything that I say about myself, what are you going to say now? Especially you, Lucian Key. Especially you, Michael Arista. Especially everybody else that I mentioned. Like, go ahead and fucking debate me onto some shit that I don't want to hear. And I would instantly tell you about the things that I have seen now that you ain't gonna like. Like, I'm prepared. Like, I'm ready. Bring it on. I would freaking debate you and fucking roast you. I will debate on your... I would debunk your bait... Wait, what am I saying at this point? I will fucking, I meant to say, to debate on your own ass and debunk that shit. That's what I meant to say. My bad. For those who might get it twisted. But, other than that, it's been now almost to 13 minutes. I can now finally say who the fuck I am as a goddamn person who has grown up to be, who is a dumbass from, who might end up going towards the right side, now being on the left, and not only that, I am a fucking left-handed. That's another thing I want to point out, and I think that's it from here, for what I say about this rant. And by the way, my name is Charles Lucas, and this is my childhood story in my own perspective on everything that I have saw, everything that I went through, and I'll answer the questions after this section. Oh yeah, also one more thing before I do show you my entirety of my story. As a disclaimer, it is not exactly how it's made to be exactly what I want, but it still tells it no matter what. And I'm still speaking out the truth. And not only that, the questions that I may answer is getting redone. So there's a lot of questions that I really want to answer to those who haven't asked. Also, starting from now on, I'm really going to say this no matter what. And this was probably a new rule from here on out. Please stop asking me some dumbass questions and some questions that I would never going to be able to answer to, because I never actually going to learn it from unless I have to. Okay, it's something that I really don't want to get into right now, because I just want to be left alone because due to my autism. And yes, I'm going to end up answering that after the section of my own story. From 2007 to early 2013. In 2007, Charles Lucas was born on the western part of the United States, almost close to the Pacific Ocean. From 2008 to 2011, his older siblings takes care of Charles while their mom and dad work at their jobs. During this time, Charles starts to make interesting and wacky DIYs that his family laughed about the creations that he makes. From 2011 to 2013, Charles' siblings, Jasmine and Chris, graduated high school 1 year apart between 2011 and 2012, and Charles is not ready to go to school and was afraid of this change. Late 2013 to early 2019. In late 2013, Charles had a hard time in the first school he went to was Delray Elementary. The students from there treated Charles differently in the wrong way. Charles was diagnosed from the school for autism, and the Lucas family was concerned about it at first. Due to Charles' autism and his frustrations in Delray, he got removed from the Delray's special education program and the school itself, and got moved to Galileo Academy's special ed program. This is the beginning of the OG controversy. From 2013 to 2015, at Galileo, he met new students that he'd never seen before. During this time, Charles made new friends and met Mrs. Duran, Mrs. Diaz, and their aides for the very first time. It was rough at first, then Charles started to change his personality around. This was also when he discovered about YouTube and new hobbies along the way. Also, he starts to make a story called Charles's Adventures. From 2015 to 2016, his sibling Jasmine finally decided to stay in Arizona after graduating college, while his other sibling, Chris, finally tries to move out as quickly as he can to not deal with their second older brother, Richard. Also during this time, their dad quitted his job to look after Charles and depressed about one of Charles's uncles named Uncle Kevin, who passed away in 2015. From 2016 to early 2019, Charles started to grow and mature. He meets more students and graduated at Galileo Academy at the end of 6th grade in early 2019. Charles learned about how to not falter in the wrong hands, and it was all thanks to Mrs. Duran and Mrs. Diaz, and their aides. From early 2019 to January 2025. In early 2019, during at this time, he met a YouTuber within the internet named Kevin Fan Animations, and he wasn't happy about Charles's creations. He told him that plagiarism is a bad thing to do, and Charles turned around and stopped copying people's work. Charles starts to redo Charles's adventures in a more smooth and simple tone to the story and his characters. In late 2019, Charles starts middle school at 12 years old in Lakeview Leadership Academy and continues to do great things, and met students that are far more worse than the first set of students that he met during the time at Delray. In early 2020, everything went okay after that, up until COVID-19 hits the fan on all countries around the world, including the United States. Charles, his true friends, and the rest of the Lucas family were concerned about COVID-19's existence. From early 2020 to 2021, Charles starts to lose himself and his mental health starts to degrade from COVID-19 and for his mom's loss on her job, and made him and the other members of the family depressed. Charles started to do bad things and continues to do more bad things after that. However, Charles did an awesome job keeping up with his assignments at his school's online program. It didn't last for very long, and his school starts to reopen once again. From 2021 to 2022, Charles continues with his story until he met Luis. Luis is a cool friend who got changed by Charles and returns the favor of giving him ideas to change the story of Charles's adventures. Charles finally found a solution and calls his new story Stone of Bronzer. Luis liked the name, the characters, and the settings of the story, and the story is still continuing to develop up to this day. Also, this is when Charles's mom lost her leg to a doctor that she wanted to sue and fight for her money. From 2022 to 2023, Charles finally got more socials than ever before, especially having a channel called CTBTR. During this time, after 9th grade at Lakeview, he went to the final school ever called Victor Valley High School. He saw recurring students from Lakeview and started to date someone that is brand new to him. All that changed when he got his heart broken by Riley Dees, his first ex-girlfriend that he will never forgive, along with his fake friends, about the biggest situation that Charles ever faced. From early 2023 to early 2024, Charles did the most screwed up thing ever to lose himself entirely and exposes Riley for what she did and starts to do more bad things than anyone else. Some people saw the video that Charles made and it was screwed up for the most part, but it doesn't matter anymore. Charles still has the guilt of making the video, but Charles deletes it and moves on, concluding the OG controversy. From early 2024 to late 2024, Charles starts to move on and starts to go on his own restored plans, even going back to his old ways, and starts something fresh without his past getting into him. His true friends, Jaime, Ivan, Lone, and the others were worried about Charles right after the OG controversy ended. Charles gets advice to all of them to keep doing what you have been doing, starting the post controversy. This is their face of concern as an example. From late 2024 to January 2025, Charles went ups and downs, and Charles himself has gotten a lot better than what he was in. He started to drop things to not do ever again. He made more friends along the way through his final year of high school. Michael A., Philip F., and the others that knew Charles saw him that he's not the same Charles that they knew from before, and all of them started to push his name in the wrong way in the trash of hell, spreading rumors about the video on Riley and making a huge deal out of it, including to put Charles's true friends and Charles himself in danger. Me and the others are no longer associated with these people and their problems that they put on us and blames us for no reason, especially on Charles. In January 2025, when Charles and his true friends heard all about that crap, all of them, including Charles, had enough of their shenanigans, and the only way for them to be at peace is letting Charles handle the situation. Charles finally starts to trust himself, gets the encounter abilities from the fake no good friends, and starts making the final arc to the original continuity and tries to end the school life, the post-controversy, even the original continuity once and for all. Nobody cares about a man a man's mental health until it turns to anger, then everyone sees him as a bad person. From January 2025 to June 2025. From January 2025 to May 2025, Charles made the right decision to make the final arc to the original continuity and completely ignores and roasts the hell out of the fake friends that he wished he didn't met them in the first place, especially his ex-girlfriend. In May 2025 to June 2025, Charles finally graduates from high school after the 13 years since Chris graduated from high school. And Charles is finally moving forward to finally put the original continuity to rest. When you stand up and tell the truth, you make enemies. So yeah, so that's the story that I wanted to tell you guys about. It's something that I went through so much, especially what the heck is going on with the goddamn administration for all we know, and the fact that this is absurd. But keep this in mind that this is something I would tell you guys about this, and why I went from almost trying to be as the right to the left. And thank goodness I'm a full-on left, or rather being on the right of history instead of being in the wrong of history. Anyway, so the questions that I really want to answer to those that already got those answers from the clues is super simple. Do you have autism? That is an easy answer. Yes, I do. It is a condition. It is a disorder. It is a thing that I have to live through for the rest of my life. There's no vaccine or no cure about it. It's an actual condition that I have to live through. It's an actual disorder I have to live through. And it always happens to anybody who may end up getting autism, but end up in a different perspective. A different spectrum. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. The spectrum that I have, that I do believe in somehow, is whatchamacallit, the Asperger. That's what it is. Asperger is a condition where I have a high functioning disorder where I'm still able to talk to people, and it's normal to me, actually, to be very fair. It sounds like quote-unquote normal, but it's actually kind of normal to me that Asperger does exist, and I do believe it. However, within the story, I did get diagnosed to the Del Rey school that I used to go to before I went to Galileo, Lakeview. That's why I'm wearing this shirt, for obvious reasons, for memories that I remember about, you know. And then Victor Valley High School, which is the last school I went to before the whole shit show happens. And this is fucking ridiculous. And also, I do see my phone answering spontaneously, because I know somebody who's gonna debate on what the fuck is going on. And I know once they see this video, I don't fucking care at this point. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Anyway, moving on. Off track. The thing here is that I went to those schools because I didn't know any better, just to figure out what I need to learn from, especially from the Del Rey. But after they took me off from the special ed program, that's where it all came from, I was pissed. I was pissed off. And these people, these teachers, these students from there are fucking idiots. And that's why I'm not going to go there ever again. And it's been an absolute dog shit, to be very fair. Another question that everybody has been asking about is about my family. So there's a lot of images that I put on to the entirety of the story here, and there's a lot of them that I put up, and it shows my own childhood, my own face, so everything about that, and my own siblings and my father and my mother. So my father is the one who is still here, and I'm very concerned about him right now as we speak. He's not himself lately. He's not what I thought he was going to be, and we, as of recording this entire video, June 15th, right? In the next 2 days, he's going to get diagnosed with something for Alzheimer's. I'm not too sure. I'm not too certain about that. If he has early Alzheimer's, if he does, that's bad news for me. But I'm just worried about my father. I'm just worried about my mother. The fact that she lost her leg, and yes, I did mention that within the story as well. My siblings. Reggie is not mentioned as much, but I do have a picture of all my 3 brothers and myself as a little child in one of the photos of Christmas, I believe, or not. I can't remember to be exact, but I will remind myself during that time, and remember that in the coming who knows what. And another thing that I really want to say is the fact that out of the entirety of my family, he's the only one, Reggie's the only one who didn't graduate, but he worked his way to do his job in the right way, and he has been doing that. He has a loving wife and a kid who is my niece, who those who saw the Christmas 2023 live stream, that was my niece, and she is Pumpchi. I'm gonna say her previous username. I don't know what her new username is right now as we speak, but I'll ask her either way. But I would rather refrain of not saying her full name and not saying her name entirely of the real name. All right. Now, as for my sister Jasmine and my third older brother Chris, they have worked their asses off and tried to help out with my family with the entirety of the family as we speak. Sorry about that. That was a family member trying to call me. I was like, God damn it, why at the wrong time? But it doesn't matter. But what really does matter, it is actually Father's Day within June 15th as of recording this video, so I forgot to mention that. But moving on, again, Jasmine and Chris are working hard, siblings within the family, and soon when I start to pop up and start working, I would be working a lot more than Chris and Jasmine. I'm not too sure, because that would be not the case, if that makes more sense, or equally, if that makes more sense. But out of everybody, when it comes down to my second older brother Richard, under the name Senado, he is by far he's such a stubborn brother I ever have. I'm not gonna lie. And right now as we speak, it is now 2 weeks left, I believe, if I look over here. Yeah. So it is only 2 weeks left until he's gone, because he's the only thing left out of my entirety of my original continuity that he needs to go. And the thing is that I don't want to deal with him anymore. I just don't want to talk with him. I don't want to speak with him. And he needs to be out of here, because he's been here for 18 plus years, and that is absurd to me.
Sometimes I'm feeling high, but sometimes I'm feeling low. I wanna stay inside.
And if you guys have saw the rant that I made on Instagram from weeks ago, yeah, that was my rant. If you want to look at it, it's on Instagram. Follow me from there. And let's move on to the rest of the other questions that needs to be answered. Why did the name of CTBTR popped up in your mind? So, with the name CTBTR, it was originally supposed to be Charles TBTR, and I did not like the way how it is. So I shortened my own first name to be CTBTR. So the standard is Charles Total Brutal T Rival. And the reason for that is right behind the monitor of my usual monitor that everybody knows, especially with my now new monitor, which is the TV. I have golf club sets that I always have, and I usually play golf outside over here just to practice. And I haven't practiced for a long time, so I may end up trying to do that again. But with this in mind, that's where it came from, and I have a passion for golf, but I do not have a passion for this dumb motherfucker up in office. I'll tell you that. But with everything, with everything, with the name, it just takes a long time to process who I am as a person, and I almost did go into another name to forget the past, start fresh with a new, brand new name, and I just didn't feel like that. The original name I used to have is Mario 2-Bit, Inspired Nation username to Luigi 2-Bit, which is my third older brother's actual account on Xbox or anything else. And his name is so iconic, Mario 2-Bit might as well go along with it, and it worked. And it didn't work anymore because that's just the old username that I had on the Xbox 360, and it didn't came out to be. So CTBTR was the only good way that shows my actual name, Charles, into the actual name of itself. And the stamp for its too that I mentioned for golf. So that's why it made it possible. Now, as for everything else, do I do Rubik's Cubing? Yes, I have Rubik's Cubes right there. Do I do DIYs? Yes. You can see an Ultimatrix version of my own interpretation of the Ultimatrix from Ben 10. And yes, I am a diehard Ben 10 fan, and even if I don't even watch the episodes, I love the interactions, I love the clips, I love the breakdowns from the Ink Tank, everybody else that talks about Ben 10, you know. Same thing with the other communities, like Dragon Ball, Power Rangers, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure recently, Hunter x Hunter, and there's so much more communities that I really want to mention here, but there's so much that I would just rather put etc. The next thing I want to talk about is I really never actually talked about this to anybody that I know of, and it is only a couple of people that know about this, and especially to my mom that I talked to about all this. And these are a few questions that you may end up now starting to realize why that's the case. And also there's also concerning question as well along with it. So, do I like the communities or the fandom of furries? This one is a hot, heated debate because if you really think about it, it just depends how you say it. I like the people who understand about not falling into the wrong hands of pedophiles being in existence, tracers of art, AI art, and there's a lot more I was able to say, but those are the people that understand that these are the people on the other side that doesn't understand about this. They could go be terminated off of the platforms of social media. It depends on who you watch out for, because I've been watching so many artists, especially furry artists for that matter, and any other artists for that matter, including music and everything else too, to watch out for their backs on what they're doing, or else they're going to end up following their reputation as quickly as possible and down to the drain. And then after this, it's so sad to see there's so many people that I used to follow ends up being in the wrong hands. It is really ridiculous. And I've been watching this nonsense ever since 2018 when I was on Sony Sketch. That's another thing. That's the next question. Was Sony Sketch was the first social media app that I ever been on? Yes. Before Discord. Before I went on to Discord, it was toxic. It was still toxic during back in 2018 up until 2019. But also at the same time, it was a best era of me starting to understand what I'm doing. But also, it's also when I met Kevin Fan Animations as a YouTuber, and I mentioned him in here because he teaches me the ways to not copy someone's work. So plagiarism is also another thing to watch out for, because it's very, very, very not okay. And even as an adult, if you plagiarize something, you go to jail for it, and it's not good. So please don't ever plagiarize someone, and it's not funny, because at the end of the day, you're stealing someone's work, and they will instantly copyright your ass back. So yeah, but that's the two questions I want to ask, or that I've been asking for so long, and it's now out. But again, with the first part, it just depends. Alright? It just depends on how it works. And that leads to this next question. Are you part of the LGBTQ? Or rather, you as yourself, are you straight? Yes, I am part of the LGBTQ support for those who are wanting their own equality rights, especially those who has the rights for being disabled, like me as a person, and LGBT kind of person, and everybody else, you know, especially Black, Hispanic, Asian, every cross of life, every single cross of life that wants equality, that understands democracy. And the last thing I want to mention about that statement is super clear, that it's a no, that I'm not straight. As for a few years, I was straight up until I started to change my sexuality. And the sexuality of those are bisexual, ambisexual, and demisexual. And those are the three top ones that I know that I mostly relate to, that I'm connected to. Even though I said that out loud, and even though that's who I am, that doesn't mean I'm a completely different person and start changing the ways to be in that road. I'm still the same Charles no matter what. And it's just the fact that I have changed. Again, I have changed from being a narcissistic ass, from almost going to the right, to be on the left. And it's really, hold on. From being on the right, hold on. From being on the right to the left. There you go. Just to make sure you guys, well, actually it's more this way than this way. There we go. So, with that in mind, it really sums up of what I said here, of the questions here. And lastly, the final question that everybody's been asking, especially one person in particular. What is going on with the concerning of the following? So, I did try to get rid of a lot of following spree that I liked, that I don't like anymore, which thank goodness, like I mentioned about, you know, people were all falling into the wrong hands. And I've been doing that consistently within this month, to be exact. And I'm now starting to refollow new people that understands the democracy and understands that they're doing the hard work, not those who are under this goddamn administration that we are in. And I think those are the main answered and unanswered questions. So if you really want to answer questions, if you really want to answer more questions, in my live streams to answer any more questions, you can actually do it on any live stream that I end up putting out in the future. There is a live stream that is happening around, or that has already happened actually, around this day too, on June 15th. However, that's how I connected with people in order to talk about what the heck is going on. And it works. And yeah. And I think that's pretty much it. There's no other question I can think of. I think those are the quick questions. Easy and most recognizable questions that I actually answered about. There's more questions along the way, but for right now, this is where we got. And now, I want to say this, and to end this off the entirety of this video. To those that understand the pain that I'm coming from, to those that I support, to those that understands that this is wrong, and we are in a world that is not right, to those YouTubers that help me inspired from, I'm gonna name a couple: Dance the M, Markiplier, Ryan99, Fuseason Gamer, just to name a few. And to those that helped me propel along the way to becoming who I am, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you because you give me the opportunity to talk about the things that I really want to talk about, but also to understand about things that I watched through YouTube. And the reason I mostly watch YouTube is to see what the heck is going on under there, and see what the heck's going on in general, and a lot of things that is not right or things that are right. And right now, as we speak, the world ain't pretty right now as we speak, as of June of 2025. And right now, the first half of this year is garbage in general, but with my own year, it's actually good to great right now, but it may end up move. It may end up move as we get into the rest of the months of this first goddamn stupid ass administration that we're in. But I think that's it for me. The interviews that will back up for this video about the questions that I asked to them is going to end up releasing 2 days after this video, on the days of June 20th, unless it's June 25th. And I want to say this: thank you for watching, thank you for understanding, and as always, no matter what, stay fresh. Again, stay fresh as always, no matter what background we're in, or no matter what background you came from. Always be staying fresh on the things that we see around the world, and start to relearn things that we forget. And it is what we are seeing right now as we speak. God bless you to those who understand this, and God bless you to all people that are hurting right now. Even though, and also that's one more thing. Even though I'm not religious, I'm still spiritual and respecting all gods, respecting Jesus, aka Jesus, but not the religions. I mean, I respect the religion, but the ways how you taught these religions, no. Either way, thank you for watching again, and I'll see you all into the reset continuity. Again, I'm going to say it last time, stay fresh, everybody.